What does it take to become a legend in the skies over Malta during the height of the Second World War? What happened between June and July 1942 that elevated a young Canadian pilot from obscurity to myth? On the 9th of June 1942, Flight Sergeant George Frederick Buzz Beurling, a Royal Air Force pilot with No. 249 Squadron, arrived on the tiny Mediterranean island. Malta was under constant bombardment by the Luftwaffe and Italian Regia Aeronautica. Supplies were critically low, fuel was scarce, and morale was fraying. Every sortie carried the risk of death. Beurling had already flown combat over France and England, but here his fate, and the fate of Malta's skies, would be rewritten. Over the next weeks he would achieve 27 confirmed aerial victories, earning the title the Falcon of Malta. His skill, daring, and sheer determination would leave an indelible mark on the history of the Second World War. Malta's position in the Mediterranean made it vital to the Allies. Situated just 60 miles south of Sicily, the island allowed control over Axis supply lines to North Africa. Rommel's Afrika Korps relied heavily on shipments that Malta threatened. Axis forces, determined to neutralize the island, launched daily bombing raids and sent in fighter sweeps to suppress RAF defenses. The RAF on Malta was small. Squadrons like No. 249, No. 261, and No. 185 were stretched thin. Aircraft were constantly damaged, ammunition limited, and pilots fatigued. Into this crucible stepped Beurling, quiet, focused, and already known for his remarkable deflection shooting and uncanny eyesight. Beurling's style was unorthodox. He preferred close-range engagements, often breaking formation to pursue targets with deadly precision. This independence earned him both admiration and caution from squadron leaders. Little did they know, this very trait would make him Malta's most formidable air defender. Within days of arriving, Beurling began flying combat missions over the island. On the 11th of June, he engaged a formation of Messerschmitt Bf-109 fighters escorting Italian bombers. The dogfight stretched from the airfields over Te Colli to the northern cliffs of Gozo. Beurling closed to 250 to 300 yards behind his first target, a Marquis C-202, and fired with perfect timing. The aircraft spiraled downward in flames. Soon after, he downed another fighter and forced a third to retreat. Squadron mates watched in awe. The young Canadian, only 20 years old, was already demonstrating instincts beyond his years. For Malta's defenders, every aircraft counted. One plane lost could mean hundreds of tons of supplies failing to reach troops in North Africa. Every dogfight carried the weight of the island itself. By mid-June 1942, Axis air activity intensified. Intelligence reports noted waves of 12 to 20 bombers escorted by fighters, approaching daily. The Luftwaffe's Junkers, RU-88s, and Messerschmitt Bf-109s, along with Italian Marquis C-202s, created a deadly mix. Anti-aircraft fire from Malta's ground batteries added to the chaos, making every sortie a high-stakes gamble. Beurling and his squadron often scrambled multiple times per day. Fuel shortages meant some Spitfires barely made it to altitude before intercepting the enemy. Pilots described the sky as a roaring furnace of bullets, tracer lines, and explosions, where reaction time measured survival in seconds. During one sortie on the 20th of June, Beurling engaged 7 enemy aircraft alone. Each maneuver, dive, and climb tested his nerve and skill. Observers later described his flying as like a predator in the sunlit sky, calculated, precise, lethal. On the 6th of July 1942, a massive Axis formation of 4 RU-88 bombers with fighter escorts approached Malta from Sicily. Fuel was low, and the squadron had only 8 operational Spitfires. Beurling took off from Te Colli airfield, his engine screaming in the pre-dawn light. Within minutes, tracer fire stitched the sky. Bombers released their payloads, while fighters circled in tight formation, attempting to protect them. The chaos was near total. Beurling attacked with characteristic daring, closing the distance with deflection shots, downing to Marquis within moments. A Bf-109 attempted to ram him, but his rapid maneuvering allowed him to escape. The island's airspace was just 17 miles long and 9 miles wide. Yet, in those skies, life and death danced in close quarters. Over the next 14 days, Beurling's tally of victories soared to 27 confirmed kills. He engaged multiple fighters simultaneously, used high-speed dives, and employed precision deflection shooting, a skill unmatched by most pilots. One sortie on the 27th of July 1942 saw him confront 3 fighters at once, downing to Marquis and forcing the Bf-109 to retreat. His squadron called him the Falcon, recognizing his uncanny ability to dominate in the air while surviving what would have killed any ordinary pilot. His technique was ruthless yet precise. He preferred close-range shooting, often within 250 yards, maximizing the chances of a kill while minimizing ammunition waste. His daring was legendary, yet it often put him at odds with squadron discipline. Beurling's brilliance came at a cost. His independent style, combined with intense focus on victory rather than protocol, caused friction with other pilots and commanders. Some called him reckless, others called him a genius. Despite the conflicts, his courage inspired those around him. Pilots watched as he dove, twisted, and fired, surviving odds that seemed impossible. Witnesses recalled seeing him emerge from a cloud of tracer fire with a flaming enemy aircraft trailing behind. The human cost of the siege was immense. Many of Malta's defenders did not survive. Beurling carried the weight of lost comrades, flying each mission with the knowledge that the lives of those on the ground and in Africa depended on the success of the sorties. By late 1942, Beurling's record was unparalleled in the Mediterranean theater. His skill earned him Distinguished Flying Medal and Bar, Distinguished Flying Cross, DFC, Distinguished Service Order, DSO. His victories were not only a personal triumph but a strategic boon for Malta and the Allies. Every Axis aircraft downed increased the chances of supply convoys reaching North Africa, bolstering Rommel's opponents and keeping the island in Allied hands. Beurling became a symbol of courage, precision, and relentless determination, a pilot who could change the outcome of air battles with skill alone. After Malta, Beurling returned to England and then Canada. His fame preceded him, yet the war had changed him. Discipline and teamwork remained a challenge, but his legacy was secure. In 1948, Beurling volunteered to ferry aircraft to the new Israeli Air Force, hoping to continue his service. Tragically, on the 20th of May 1948, he died in a plane crash near Rome at the age of 26. His body was later reinterred in Haifa, Israel, with full honors, cementing his place as a legend across continents. Beurling's story endures not just in numbers or medals but in the courage, audacity, and precision that defined his flying. Malta's skies, once filled with fire and death, now echo his name, the Falcon of Malta. This was just one of countless untold stories from the Second World War. Subscribe to our channel as we continue to bring these forgotten chapters of history back to life.